Hi everyone, welcome to this session. So let's understand what are functions in JavaScript. So functions are something that has reusable piece of code. So if you have any logic that you want to apply at different places in your program and the logic is going to be the same, then what you can do is you can create a function and then you can refer the same function at different places rather than writing the same piece of code again and again. Okay. And this is the syntax for writing a function. You need to include this keyword function, then you have to give your function a function name, and if there are parameters you can pass the parameters. Otherwise it's fine even if you don't have parameters, and then your logic will go inside the curly braces over here. Okay, and these are the topics that we are going to be covering. So let's just start by creating a function. All right, so as we saw the syntax, you need to start by using this keyword, so function, and then I'll give my function a function name. So let's say if I just simply type hello, so this is my function name now, and inside this let's just log something for now, and then I'll save this. But right now you see this log is not coming up, right? Because you need to invoke this function. Just creating the function is not enough. You need to invoke the function, and by invoking I mean you need to call the function. So copy the name and then call the function, but you also have to include the parenthesis. Okay, and then let's just save this. So now you see whatever we have written inside the function that got executed. Okay, so this is the very basic way of writing the function. Now the second thing is that how you can pass parameters in your function. So let's say if you want to pass something like this, let me take a parameter here and you can give any name to it, right? According to whatever name you have. So let's say if I give a name as username is equals to, let's say, Alice, and here I will change this and I'm going to include something like this. I will just display the value of, it will be username, and then I have to use backtick over here. I'll take this out and then save this here. And if I save this, you can see the message is hello Alice. So we have passed a parameter. So now there's another thing that you can do, right? So by passing a value over here, that means I'm passing a default value, right? It is always going to take Alice, right? But I want the liberty to pass any value every time I call this function. So I have to remove this from here. That means I'm not passing a default value. So what I would rather do is pass the value from here. Okay, so here I'll pass a value as this and then I'll save this. You see it works. Now if I pass another value, let's say Robert, if I save this, this works, right? So depending on how many parameters you have passed here, you have to pass the same number of arguments when you're invoking the function. By that I mean, let's say if I include something as greeting, okay, so here that means I am passing two parameters here. So when I'm invoking the function, then I have to pass two parameters. So I passed username and here I have to pass the greeting as well. So let's say if I say welcome, and then let's also include the greeting here, and let me save this. So now you see hello Robert, welcome. So basically when you are creating your function, the number of parameters that you are passing in the function, so when you are calling the function, when you are invoking the function, the same number of arguments you have to pass depending on how many parameters you have passed. And there's one more thing, right? So in the function definition, what is this? This is the function definition, or you can say function declaration, right? So by that time, when you're declaring your function, so whatever you pass here, you call it as parameter. But when you are invoking the function, when you're calling the function, and in place of parameters, the value that you pass, it is called arguments. A lot of times people call this also as parameters, but this is the basic difference, that in the function definition, you call it as parameter, but while you're calling the function and you pass the values, you call it as arguments. Now let's take another example of function with parameters. So I'm going to create another function and I'll give it a name as sum, and I'm going to pass two parameters, a and b. Okay, this can be any name, right? X, Y, Z, whatever you want to give. So I'm just passing a and b, and here I'm going to log and I will do a plus b. So this is my function. Now I will have to call this function. So I will call this function sum, and how many arguments do I need to pass? Two, right? Because there are two parameters. So this function is expecting two parameters. So I'll pass 2 and 3. And here if I save this, you can see we got the result here, right? And what happens if you don't pass the number of arguments, which is exactly same as the number of parameters? So if I do this, right? And if I save this, see, it says not a number, right? So it will give you some error. So that is why the number of parameters, how many you have passed, you need to pass the same number of arguments over here. Okay. And similarly, like the function that you have created for sum, if you want to create a function for subtraction, you can do that as well, right? I'll say subtraction, and then here I will just do a minus b and then this save, right? I need to give this exact name. while calling the function. So subtraction. So you see we got the result here, right? Now the next thing is return value in a parameter. So let's say whatever result you are getting out of a function, you want to do something with the value, right? So here we are just logging the value, right? But let's say if you want to receive the value and you want to do some sort of manipulation with the value. So in such cases, you can use return value in a function. Okay. And let me show you how you can do that. So I'll write another function. So or we can, what we can do, let's just use the same function. So we'll use this one. So here, rather than consoling the value here, right, I'll just comment this out and I'll write something like this: return a plus b. Now if I save it, nothing will happen because we are not logging the value, right? So if I log the value now, and then under this I'm going to call the function, and if I save this, you see the value here, right? But now because I have used a return statement, there is something else that I can do. I can receive this value into another variable. So I'll just define another variable, result, and then I will call this function. And now instead of just calling the function inside the log statement, I will use this and then I'll save this. So you see, we have the result here. Okay. So every time you have to use the return statement when you want to do something with the value. Otherwise it's fine. You don't have to use the return statement. All right. And also with the return statement, your function always exits from the return statement. So if you have written anything after the return statement, it will not get executed. So for example, if I log something here, right? Let's say here, if I just give it something like this after log, it's not going to get executed. It won't. So return becomes your last statement of your function. Okay. So whenever you are using return, make sure that this is the last statement of your function. Now let's see what are rest parameters. Okay. So I'll create a function here, function, and let's say ABC. I can give any name to the function, right? But always make sure that you're giving a sensible name depending on what you're trying to write. So here I have to give 3 dots. Remember, okay, 3 dots. And then here I'll give a name as nums. And then under this, I'm just going to log something. Okay. So I'll just log the nums and then I will call this function. This function is ABC, and then I'll just call this function. And in the arguments, now because I'm using rest parameter, this is how you use rest parameter. Okay. Dot, dot, dot. So what it does is that it gives you the liberty to define as many numbers as you want. Okay. So here I don't have to specifically pass one number, two number, or three number, right? I can pass as many numbers I want. So I'll pass it as something like this, and then I'll save this. So you see, now it is taking all the numbers. So this is the advantage of using rest parameter, that you can pass any number of arguments. Okay. So here, if I add another argument, it will take that as well. Now let's do something else here. I want to do a summation of all these values, right? So what I'll do, I'll just comment this out and I'm going to use the return statement. Okay. So first of all, I'll take a variable. So let total is equals to 0, because this is a container where I would be keeping all the summated values. And then we would have to run a loop, right? So for let num in where numbers, actually we can use for of loop here. Okay. So nums, and then under this total is equals to total plus num. Okay. And rather than writing this, we can also write it something like this, which is equivalent to what we had written before, like this. Okay. And then after this, we can just return this value, return total. And because this is returning a value now, we can receive it in a variable. So let result is equals to this, and let's just log this value. So now you see we have the result. Okay. Let me just reduce it down so that we can calculate easily. Okay. So this is how you can use rest parameters, right? When you don't know that how many arguments are going to be passed while the function is invoked, then you can use rest parameters. Now let's see how we can pass object in function parameter. Okay. So I'll remove all of this and let me create an object first. So I'll create an object. Let student is equals to, and we'll give some properties. So student name, and then I'll give age. It has to be colon and not equals to, and then let's give city name. Okay. And then we'll create a function, and I'm giving any name to this function. And here I want to pass a parameter. Okay. So let's say student, or let me just make it simpler. Okay. I'll just pass the name. Okay. And here when I'm logging the value, what I can do is I'll use the backtick and I will say the student name is, and I'll use dollar symbol, curly brackets, and then name, and then I'll save this. Okay. Now I have to call this function. So when I'm calling this function in the name parameter, right, instead of here, the argument, when I'll pass the argument, which argument I can pass, because I have to pass the object information now, right? So student dot student name. correct? So student dot student name, and then let's save this and then run this. So you see the student name is John. So what did we do? We have an object, we created a function, and in that function we are passing a parameter, and we are using that parameter inside the function. You see, I have not hard coded the values anywhere. Okay, whatever I have passed, I'm just using the same thing inside that. But when I'm calling the function, I'm taking the information from the object. Okay, I'm passing the argument using the object. So student dot student name, and similarly I can pass the other information as well. If it is age, I'll pass the age. If it is city name, I can pass the city name as well. Okay, so this is how you can pass object information inside function parameters. So there's another way of doing this, right? So let's say if I change it to, let's say, employee, and here I'll do it employee dot name. Okay, and when I'm calling the function, I'll just comment this one out, and when I'm calling the function, I'm not going to refer to this object. Okay, I'll call the function, and then here itself I will create the object and I will define the properties. So here I'll take the name as, let's say, Robert, and I'll take the age as 30. And if I save this, okay, so here let me save this. So this works, right? So let me change this to employee. Okay, and if I save this, so this works here. And I can give, like, any other parameter as well. So for example, if I have to access the age, let's say I'll not add another one, I'll just access the age. So here if I say the age is, I can directly access this with employee dot age, and then I'll save this. Okay, and you can see the age, right? So I didn't have to pass multiple parameters here, right? Because I'm passing the object itself. So whatever properties the object has, I can directly access the properties by using dot property, object name dot property, object name dot property, and in the object, right, in the arguments place, I have passed the object itself. All right, so this is how you can pass object in function parameter. Now let's see how we can pass array in a function parameter. Okay, so I'll remove this part and I'll remove this as well. And here let's just take, let's say, display array. I'll change the name of the function, and here I'm just taking array1 or something like that. Okay, you can give any name that you want, and here I'll just log the value of whatever we are receiving in the argument. Okay, now when I call this, I can simply pass array. And how do you define the array? Using square brackets, right? So here if I pass 2 3 5 6, let's say, okay, and if I save this, I'll save this. So you can see here it took all the values of the array. So here basically you need to make sure that if you want to pass array in a parameter, right, then the value that you're passing in the argument, right, your argument should be in the form of the array. So for example, here if I pass so if you remember the rest parameter, right, 3 dots, the rest parameter always gives the values in the form of array. So let's say if I do rather this, right, dot dot dot, and if I remove this, then this will be actually fine without this, because the rest parameter anyway takes the values in the form of array, right? So this worked. But the baseline is that if you're passing an array, then you need to make sure that the argument that you're passing in the form of is in the form of array itself, right? And this is how you actually take an array, right, in the form of square brackets. So if there is any logic that you want to now do with the array, you can do, right? You can run a loop inside this on this array, because you have the array now, and then you can implement any logic that you want. And when you're calling the function, you can pass your array, and that's it. So all right, this was all about functions. There are a lot of other ways of writing functions in JavaScript, which we will learn like in upcoming sessions. But for now, I think this is good for you to get started, and I'll see you in the next one.